Shalom, shalom, shalom. I'd like to start off by giving all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and those of great millstone who rule well. Peace, blessing, and safety to all the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. The hopeful elect out there. This is the brother Hadabyar from the GMS Toronto camp, coming back at you with another one. And, there's no, they're saying, peace and safety, the world, majority of people in this world think that, everything's okay now. You don't hear too much talk about the wars. There's no more scamdemics. Everything is calm right now, in the sense. We know that stuff is going. We know that things obviously are going on. But for the most part, people think or believe that they're living in a very peaceful time. Everyone is just in their little bubble. Enjoying the summer. Vacations, having fun. Not realizing the serious times that we're in right now. So I want to start with 1 Thessalonians 5:1, and I'm going to read it in the NLT. Now concerning how when all this will happen, dear brothers and sisters, we don't really need to write to you, for you know quite well that the day of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, return will come unexpectedly, like a thief in the night. When people are saying everything is peaceful and secure, then disasters will fall on them as suddenly as a pregnant woman's labor pains begin, and there will be no escape. There's going to be no escape for what is to come. The Lord, Yahweh, Yahushai is coming. Is coming with with destruction. It's coming with a judgment. He's not coming back to, have everyone gather hand in hand and, may make peace upon earth. No, he's coming, to bring war, to bring war upon Esau, Edom, Babylon the Great. Serious things are going to be taking place, and these things are going to catch people off guard. They're not going to see it coming. You see all these predictions on the internet talking about, this is going to happen on this day, that's going to happen on that day. Like I remember yesterday, I was seeing some bug out shit talking about how yesterday the world was going to lose gravity for 7 or 12 seconds, and there was going to be 40 billion deaths and all this type of nonsense. When Yahweh Shai makes his appearance, when the signs of the end start to increase and start to be more frequent and in your face, people are not going to see these things coming. They're not going to be planned for it. Okay? They're not. It is going to happen suddenly. The disasters, the woes, the famines, they're going to happen suddenly. The judgments, suddenly. The only ones who are going to, see it coming, in a sense, are the prophets of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, because we're paying attention to the signs. We can feel that vibration shifting. We're not caught up and so distracted like everybody else with the cares of this world. this rat race, where we're seeking Yahweh Shem Shai and paying attention to the things that are going on around us. You see, so even though us ourselves, we don't know when these things will happen. We don't know when we don't know when these disasters are going to take place. We don't know when EMP attacks will happen. Stock market crashing, blackouts. We don't know, but we see these signs that point and let us know that these things are gonna happen. Because we're paying attention to what's going on. So let me read verse 3 again. When people are saying everything is peaceful, that's what people feel like right now. People feel like everything is good. For the most part, yeah, a lot of us are here suffering. A lot of people out there going through hell. But for the most part, people feel like, they're safe. You see people, having walks, holding hands, enjoying nature, enjoying the festivities that summer brings, but they have no thought of when the return of Yahweh Shai, that's not in their mind. Jake ain't thinking about that. In Jake's mind, they feel like they got all the time in the world to indulge in basically in wickedness, and the things of this earth. They feel like they got all the time in the world to do those things, And that's why when the things happen suddenly, people are going to be shook. People are going to bug out. People are going to not know how to react, When these stores are getting ransacked, when homes are getting broken into, carjackings, shootouts, then people are going to understand that it's not a peaceful time. We are not entering into any peaceful times right now. We are only going to enter into more disasters, more woes, more destruction, more judgment, division. That is what we are. That is the times that we're getting in, that that we're already in those times. But the things are gonna happen. Are gonna ramp up. Verse 3: when people are saying everything is peaceful and secure, then disaster will fall on them suddenly, as a pregnant woman's labor pains begin, and there will be no escape. Yeah, because it's just gonna happen suddenly. Those of you who have seeds, and been around your woman when she's pregnant, those labor pains just happen suddenly. And then when those labor pains begin, and then the contractions get closer and closer, then that that it's time for the baby to be born. That is like how the coming disasters are gonna happen. Like I remember, when my seeds, when his mother was pregnant, she I was going to work. It was just another normal day. Got up. She drove me down to the train station. Just like every other day. I went to work, and not even 10 to 15 minutes me being on that train, I got a message that those labor pains are starting to kick in. It just happened suddenly, But the only thing different Only thing difference about these coming disasters that are gonna come that are gonna happen, you know, us hopeful elect, we're gonna be ready, in the spirit, we're gonna be ready. Just like how on that day I was ready. Yes, I was excited, you know, wasn't panicking, was excited, was eager to just get back home, because I had to brush off that train. I just hopped in a cab and went back. That's how the elect are gonna move in these times. That's why we're you know building ourselves up now through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Shai, to get ready to endure these disasters that are gonna happen suddenly. Whereas majority of Jake out there, they're not ready. And forget the heathen, forget Esau. You don't care about them. But Jake ain't ready for that. But you aren't in dark about these things, dear brothers and sisters. You won't be surprised when the day of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, comes like a thief. You won't be surprised. Especially all the things that are going to happen. The MOTB being made mandatory. That famine of the word. The civil unrest. When all these things, when these, World War III, in full effect, boots on the ground, when these things start to happen, then, it's Yahweh Shai is coming. Is not gonna catch us off. It's not gonna catch us off guard, because we're gonna see the signs. And this is something that we are preparing ourselves for, with doing the work. We're preparing ourselves for his return, Matthew 10:34, and this is red letter. This is Yahweh Shai speaking. Think not that I come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace. I came not to send peace, but a sword, destruction. He's not coming to set up no peace. There's going to be no peace treaty. He's not coming to sign a peace treaty with Esau and these other nations and you 2/3. Nah, he's coming with the sword. He's coming with his power. He's coming with a horrific judgment that's going to catch a lot of people off guard. Man, this time, these Jacob's trouble, the MOTB, these things are, these events that are going to take place is going to be like never before, Sometimes I try to think to myself, how is it all going to go down? From from wars kicking off to martial law, to the MOTB, being an outcast of society, to his return. Man, it's only through the mercy and grace of Yahweh Shem Shai that we're going to be able to get out of that. To see it through. A lot of stuff is going to be going on. But we're not to fret, because the Lord says, he's going to speed up those times for the elect's sake. And we don't know how long that time is going to be, but we know the Lord is going to speed it up nonetheless. This is Ezekiel 7:25. Destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. When all these things are popping off, when you can't walk to your local grocery store, when these MOTB scanners and checkpoints are all set up around the system, and it's crazy when you think about You know, these Hebrew Israelites that can't see this thing. You know, the all, you know, the infrastructure for the MOTB is already here. You know, yeah, they gotta tweak a little things, but for the most part, it's all here with all this tap and go technology. I went into Walmart the other day, and I was like, yo, the amount of self checkouts that they had. You know, and I went in there maybe a few weeks ago, and I didn't see that much self checkouts. I went in there, they must have had about, man, they must have had about 10 or 15 just self checkouts. You know, what do you think all of these things are getting ready for? You know, it's nothing for Esau to make it so where you scan that MOTB to buy or sell. You know, it's gonna be nothing. Everything is already damn near cashless anyways. You know, you go into these establishments, you know, they don't even take cash. You know, took my youth to, you know, like a water park the other day. The whole place was cashless. I was like, what the heck? And you know it's an occurring theme. I've worked in the entertainment business, entertainment industry, sports and entertainment, you know, uh, you know, back in the day, prior to me coming into the truth. That was like 2000 and that was like 2018, yeah, 17, 18. They're already starting to bring the cashless thing from them times, you know. Anyways, Ezekiel 7:25, destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. There's gonna be no peace in these times to come. It's just gonna be judgment, destruction, judgment, destruction. Mischief shall come upon mischief. Rumor shall be upon rumor. Then shall they seek a vision of the prophet, but the law shall perish from the priests, and the counsel from the ancients. You know, when all these evils and things are happening, then they're gonna wanna, then they're gonna want the guidance of the prophets. Then they want to know what the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai has to say. But it's not gonna be found. You know, when this world is flipped upside down and there's calamity and perilous times, you think we're gonna be out there prophesying? Famine of the words already is gonna kick in long before that. We're already seeing the effects of that here in Toronto, Ontario, in Canada. You think we're gonna be out there prophesying? You know, nah, man. It's gonna be, we're just gonna be trying to endure and survive until the end, until Yahushua cracks them clouds. You know, because this world's gonna demonize what the prophets of Yahweh Shem Shai have been saying. They're gonna twist our words, use their AI technology. See them sirens? I don't even know if you can hear them. Them things is gonna be. You might not even hear them sirens in them times. There's gonna be so much death and destruction, you might not even hear no sirens. You feel me? Hospitals overwhelmed. Damn, you think these paramedics, these officers, they're just gonna quit. They're gonna be worried about their family back home. They're just gonna quit. So, people, there's gonna be no peace. No peace is coming to this place. No peace is coming to Babylon the Great. Think that what we're saying is a joke. This is Amos 3. I'm going to get straight to the point. And this is in the, I don't know, this is in the GNT. Let me see what GNT is saying. So let me start at verse 6. Does the war trumpet sound in a city without making the people afraid? Does disaster strike a city unless the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, sends it? The sovereign Lord never does anything without revealing his plan to his servants, the prophets. You know? So, Yahweh Shai is control of everything. All these things that are going to take place, all these bad, horrific, evil things that are going to happen is all going to be through the will of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. You know? It's going to be all through him. He's the one who's going to make these things happen. Why? Because the people have Esau has polluted this world. The other nations have took a part and a hand in the harm that has been done to Jake, from the Negroes, Latinos to the natives. Lord's it's gonna be a bad time. Get it in the KJV. Tripping. So in the KJV it reads, shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, hath not done it? So these things are all through him. All these bad things that are going to get ready to happen is going to be through the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. People are gonna want to blame the U.S. or Iran or Russia or Trump or extremists or whoever the heck people are gonna want to blame, not realizing it's all through Yahweh or Yahweh Shah. He's the one controlling all this. He's the director of the movie. You know? And only the prophets only the prophets know that. Only the prophets only the prophets know that these things are all done through the Most High. He controls everything. You know? This is 2 Timothy 3:1. You know, and I'm just going to read the first verse. This know also that in the last day, perilous times shall come. You know, difficult, hard times. That's what's coming. That's what's coming to Babylon the Great. That's what's coming to the West. That's what's coming to the North America. Hard to do, to take, to approach, hard to bear, troublesome, dangerous, harsh, fierce, savage. That's the time. That's the time that's coming. You know, yeah, everything's all, quote unquote peaceful right now. You know, everything is this regular scheduled program right now. You know, the times that are coming, you ain't even be able to just walk out your house. You know, looking at a man pulling his son in a little wagon. You ain't gonna be able to do this in these perilous times. You know. Also enjoy it up. Enjoy it now while you can. You know? Because perilous times, dangerous times are coming, harsh times. You know? Like them things you see in the movies, but it's gonna be on steroids. Because it's not gonna be just something you're looking on through a screen. You're gonna be living in it. You're gonna have to accept it. You're gonna have to come to grips with the things that are going on, the things that you're gonna see, the things that we're gonna have to witness, the death, the loss that we're gonna have to experience. You know, because we're gonna lose things. You know, and that's why I pray every day to Yahweh Shem Shai to keep that spirit on me, to just endure whatever that He has set up for me to come across, to endure, and to take it like a soldier. You know, and keep pushing, keep moving on. You know, because a lot of people don't realize this how serious things get until they're in it. You know. So I just the only thing only the Spirit can help you. You know. The Lord just puts a spirit on us, all the brothers, all of us hopeful elect, to just endure and deal with these times that are gonna come. No peace is coming. Let me just get this one. This is Joel 2:1. A terrible visitation. That sudden visitation that the world is not ready for. So it says, blow ye the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai cometh, for it is nigh at hand, a day of darkness, a day of gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains. A great people and strong, there hath not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. That is what's coming. That doom and gloom, the darkness. You know, the things, the vibrate. You can feel that dark vibration now, but in the times that are going to come, that vibration is going to be even thicker. Outside is just going to feel like evil. It's just going to feel dark. You know, it ain't going to feel peaceful. Head's going to have to be on a swivel. You know, or constantly looking over your shoulder. Some times that we're coming into. But we don't want to have to fret. We got Yahweh Shem Yahushai in our corner. We got Him looking out for us. And that's why we're going to continue to serve Him. We're going to continue to, take our licks now, because we want that in the midst of Jacob's trouble, in the midst of all these calamities and things that are going to happen, we pray that the Lord will have favor on us, and bless us. While we see the world spiraling out of control, the elect are going to be sturdy on that foundation. They're going to be sturdy, and that foundation is going to be Yahweh Shai. Because He, through Him, everything is possible. There's no peace. There's no peace. And we're just every day hastening on His return, thinking about His glorious return. Watching a video, listening to a video on the way driving home from work. Who was that? It was Apostle Aram Love. I think it was Apostle Aram Love. I don't know. but they were just going into just the kingdoms, things of the kingdom, eating that, drinking wine, how it's shy, and eating the best meal. These are things we think about, and it just put a smile on my face. You just gotta keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing, and don't give up. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace, blessing, and safety to all the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. Lord willing, this was edifying, and until the next one, Shalom.